Well, it didn't take long, did it? The refreshed Model 3 now officially available in the United States. From a Tesla customer point of view and a potential customer, this is awesome news. This is an exceptionally, and I just mean absurdly, well-priced, incredible vehicle. What you get versus anything else for the same money, it is utterly no contest. I would be shitting bricks were I any company attempting to sell vehicles in the premium sedan segment right now. Before we get to that, however, I just want to share something from a Tesla investor's point of view, and that is the results of an ongoing poll I posted on X, just to test the waters. I asked, who's buying or upgrading to the new Model 3? Just over 15% of respondents saying that they will, another 19% maybe. Now this is huge. Most of the people who follow me on X already own a Tesla. Some don't. It's obviously a very biased crowd, but this is a pretty strong indication that Tesla's going to see a surge of interest and order flow for this refreshed Model 3, which, to be honest, as we know, Model 3 has been languishing since the release of the Model Y. SUVs, of course, being a far more popular vehicle model than sedans in general, and the Model Y being essentially almost the same price for almost the same features as the Model 3. Now there is a huge amount of differentiation between these two models. Keeping in mind, as we learned a quarter or so ago, when the refreshed Model 3 became available in China and parts of the Asia Pacific region as well, the cost for Tesla to produce the new Model 3, once ramped, is likely to be significantly less than it is to produce the current Model 3, and the new refreshed Model 3 just plain shits all over the prior generation on everything. Not only in terms of specs, performance, range, and so on, but in addition, it has a bunch of new things, new features, luxuries that were simply not available in the previous generation Model 3. In short, this new Model 3, from a customer's point of view, is just way better and great value. But from an investor's point of view, it's going to be a more profitable vehicle that is also stunningly, significantly better than the last generation, meaning Tesla has managed to innovate an enormous amount and reduce huge costs out of producing a much better vehicle. This, of course, is the story of Tesla's life. Rest in peace, the so-called competition. To put this in context, we're doing a comparison between the Model S, the Model Y rear-wheel drive, as in entry-level, and a Model 3 rear-wheel drive, also entry-level. Model 3 rear-wheel drive, $5,000 less, as I record this, than the equivalent Model Y, with a little bit more range, meaningfully less storage, which isn't a big issue for most people, but it is for some. Better performance than the Model Y in terms of 0 to 60 time, and a comparable top speed. If these were the only specs, you might think they're fairly equivalent. Model Y, however, not such great value compared to Model 3, given the Model 3 is $5,000 cheaper and most of the specs are basically the same or very close, some even better. But here's the kicker. The actual features in this refreshed Model 3 now, let's just be honest, shit all over the Model Y. Over on the Tesla website, and is it just me or does Tesla really want people to test drive the new Model 3? This floating banner, which you can't even close, on the website right now. Notice how they're describing this vehicle too. 15 minutes to recharge up to 175 miles. 340 miles of range based on the new EPA estimates for the long range version, which is loads. But let's get to the juicy stuff, the good stuff. Sure, there's some aesthetic changes, slightly more aerodynamic, updated styling, cool story, bro. Who even cares? Not me. But where things get interesting, the all new interior, ambient lighting. Again, a beautiful minimalist design. But wait, there's more. 17 speakers. Total overkill, but hey, no one's got to complain about that. But here's the big one. There's now a rear display. And I want to make sure people understand this. This is a Model 3, not a Model S, not a Model X. You now have a front and rear display. So the kids can watch YouTube, play games in the back while you're driving. This is a feature now available in a vehicle that starts under $40,000 US. The kind of feature previously you'd expect to find in a vehicle upward of $80,000 or more. But wait, there's more. This may not seem like a big deal, but there's also now ventilated seats. So ventilate your front seats from your phone ahead of time or set them to adjust automatically with climate controls. These are luxury features right now. And of course, wireless charging for your phones and devices. So, as I mentioned, the value offered by the refreshed Model 3 now, compared to anything else even close in price, it's utterly no contest. As we saw with reviews of the refreshed Model 3 first coming out of China, can confirm, extremely quiet cabin. It's got acoustic glass, meaningfully quieter to ride versus the previous generation. Just a lot of little touches and slight luxuries and improvements to elevate the experience of people now buying this vehicle, which again starts under $40,000 US. Oh, and guess what? No tax credit. That price is actually how much this thing's starting for. You can get yourself into a refreshed Model 3 with a rear screen, with the ventilated seats, the acoustic, much quieter cabin, smoother ride, insane performance, $38,990 as I record this. Madness. And of course, like every Tesla product, the refreshed Model 3, engineered for safety above everything else. So I have a few final thoughts on this, just from a Tesla investor's point of view. I mean, from a customer's point of view, things are quite clear right now. If you've got $40,000 for a budget to buy a new vehicle in the United States right now, and a sedan would suit you, you have to be brain dead not to buy the Model 3. Just the facts. This is Tesla's mission, is to make products so good that you actually have to be stupid not to buy them, assuming that you have the budget to get there in the first place. And the Model 3 rear-wheel drive right now, the refresh, has to be far and away the best value vehicle available in the United States. And it's absolutely no contest. Remember, not that long ago, the Model 3 and the Model Y had comparable features and tech, but this refreshed Model 3 is now a huge step up over the current Model Y. The bunch of luxuries, the rear screens, the quieter cabin, the ventilated seats, goes on and on and on and on and on. And again, from a Tesla investor's point of view, they've massively reduced the cost to produce this. So once ramped up, this thing's going to be very profitable. Just to show the utter absurdity in terms of the value of the rear-wheel drive Model 3, the refresh. The long-range version of the Model 3, with 341 miles of range, $7,000 additional US dollars just for the extra range and marginally improved performance on the 0 to 60 time. Even this is an absolute steal. But the price a US consumer pays for a new vehicle, based on the most recent data, is meaningfully over what this Model 3 costs. And the value they get meaningfully under what this Model 3 offers. The good news is, I don't think the refreshed Model 3 is going to have too much of a negative effect on Model Y sales. Model Y is still stunning value, and if you do want the extra space, you've got a family, kids, you're lugging shit around to the beach, picnics and so on the weekend, maybe you need the extra space. This is the main defining feature and the main difference between the two vehicles. If you need the extra room and you need the extra storage, the Model Y still makes sense. But if not, you've got to be nuts not to opt for the Model 3. Now, in the fullness of time, obviously, a refreshed Model Y with essentially identical refresh features to the refreshed Model 3 will appear. I don't know exactly when. I'm quite confident it's not going to be any time in the next couple of quarters. Maybe give it a year or so. Could be 18 months. I mean, I don't know. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. But it's inevitable at some point the Model Y will also get a comparable refresh. But given the fact that the current Model Y is already the world's best-selling vehicle, I'm sure Tesla won't be in an urgent rush. Now, one final thing I need to point out. Notice that there is no performance variation of the refreshed Model 3. Anyone want to guess why that would be? Anyone? Well, for those of you who know, congratulations. And for those of you who are waiting for me to answer, let me explain. See this thing called the Model S? That's the very reason. Let's just say hypothetically, you want a little bit more than 272 miles of range. So you're looking at the Model 3 for the long range variation. Oh shit, just over 45 grand, 341 miles. That's plenty. I'll need to pull over before then to take a whiz, get some food or whatever. Great value. Lots of storage, 5 seats, 0 to 60 time of 4.2 seconds, top speed of 125 miles per hour. Ridiculous specs for the money. How does that compare to the Model S? For an additional nearly $30,000, a little bit more range, same number of seats, slightly more cargo space, roughly a 1 second faster 0 to 60 time, and almost identical top speed. The value proposition between the 3 and S. Tell you what, man, it's hard to justify the S, unless, of course, you really do want to play Elden Ring, in which case you'll have to pick the S. As far as I'm aware, it's the only vehicle that Tesla has, the S/X, with a PlayStation 5 quality gaming. Again, to be clear, there is a screen in the Model 3 which can access the internet, apps and so on. But if you want to play Elden Ring or pick your game, still need to go for the Model S. So if you're willing to pay an extra 30 grand roughly, get a bit more range, and you can play high quality PlayStation 5 quality games in a Model S. Now, check out the Model S Plaid. Call it double the price of the Model 3 long range. As a result of that extra double price, you get a few more miles of range, same number of seats, slightly more storage capacity, and a significantly faster 0 to 60 time, plus a much faster top speed, which is applicable to very few people very infrequently. We just have to be honest here. So the point that I'm getting at here, if Tesla were to have a performance variation of this new refreshed Model 3, it would have a comparable range, a comparable 0 to 60 time, a comparable top speed, and be not far off half the price. Both vehicles with premium features, front and rear screens. You get where I'm going with this, right? If Tesla were to release a performance variation of the refreshed Model 3, I personally think it would kill the Model S. So don't be counting on a performance variation of the new Model 3 anytime soon. That being said, I have previously said, and I will say it again, if Tesla were to completely delete the Model S and X, it wouldn't make a fucking difference to the company. As a percentage of all vehicle sales, the S and X are rounding errors. They are more profitable as far as I'm aware than the 3 and Y. And they're a great place to debut new technology that eventually gets into the Y and the 3. But they're not needle movers, these vehicles. It's just true. So if they did get deleted in the future, I'll be like, well, I'm not surprised and I don't care. But I'm putting it on the record. If Tesla does release a performance variation of the Model 3, maybe it'd be like 60 grand, 55, I don't know. Based on the current price of the long range, probably call it like a 15 to 20, 25 at most % price premium. Game fucking over. To put this in context, the Model Y rear-wheel drive, right? 43,990. Long range, 48,990. The performance is just 52,490. Just a few $1,000s. So it is possible, in theory, that if Tesla were to release a performance variation of this new refreshed Model 3, they might be selling it for about $50,000. And if you were to compare that to the Model S Plaid, or worse, the entry-level Model S, it just wouldn't make sense unless you really need those few extra miles of range or you desperately want to play video games while you're parked at a supercharger. That means, if I'm right, consumers may only have a few months, maybe at most a few quarters, to pick up a performance variation of the Model Y before maybe we no longer see performance variations of either the 3 or the Y. Now, of course, I don't know this to be the case. I'm just thinking out loud here. And my thoughts are, it would be kind of insane for Tesla to have a performance variation of the new Model 3. And when they update the Model Y, the same will also be true of the performance variation of the Y. Doing so would create very little incentive for consumers to pick a performance version of the S or the X. And I mean very little. Just remember, Tesla told us about 15 years ago their plan was always to produce mass market vehicles that were affordable for the masses. Each model in their lineup to date has been a stepping stone along that journey. One final thing, while I'm thinking out loud, play along at home with me, folks. Let's just say it's 2 years after Tesla's next generation vehicle platform has ramped up and deliveries have commenced. The base price, inflation adjusted on this vehicle, is somewhere around $28,000 US. Model 3 and Y are in the mid-30s. At this point, does it make any sense at all for Tesla to even continue selling the S and X when now it's the Model Y and the Model 3 where they can debut new technology, and these vehicles can act as the premium vehicle offered by Tesla for consumers who want to spend that little bit extra? I have a pretty strong suspicion that Tesla will be very much considering this strategy moving forward. When the next-gen vehicle's available, and they're cranking out 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 plus million of these things on the next-gen platform per year. Yes, I said it. Check back in 2029, 2030 and see what happened. And they're available in the mid to high $20,000 range. Would it not then make more sense for Tesla to continue to improve the features of the Model 3 and the Model Y to differentiate them more from the next-gen vehicle to a point where maybe a couple of years into the future, you'll have PS6 quality gaming available inside a refreshed Model 3 and a Model Y? There'll be performance variations of those once again, and perhaps they'll completely delete the Model S and X. I obviously don't have any idea what's really going to happen, but I won't be surprised if later this decade, the S and X no longer exist. The Model Y and 3 have effectively taken their place as the high-performance, high-spec, premium/luxury Tesla vehicles. And by the end of the decade, I won't be surprised if Tesla's next-gen vehicle offers similar specs, features and functionality to today's Model 3 and Model Y at a much lower price. One final point. We've heard recently the likes of General Motors and Ford in the United States scaling back their electric vehicle plans. These same companies losing many tens of thousands of dollars per electric vehicle currently sold. And the only way for them to not lose such catastrophic amounts of money is to massively scale production and drive their costs down. And now Tesla drops a refreshed Model 3 with features that belong in a vehicle at about double the price, which consumers can now purchase for under $40,000 without any tax incentives, and which Tesla themselves, as far as we understand, can produce even more profitably than the previous generation Model 3. Just like to take this opportunity to pass on my condolences to legacy automotive manufacturers. I'm sure most of them are having meetings with their engineers going, hey guys, is it possible Tesla could be profitably producing this new refreshed Model 3 that they're selling for under $40,000? Why can't we? The timing could not have worked out better for this Model 3 refresh. Now available in the United States, the exact same time that Tesla's biggest alleged United States competitors, Ford and GM, have massively scaled back their EV production plans. So let me know in the comments below. Who's intending on purchasing a refreshed Model 3? And if you are, do you already own a Tesla? You're going to trade one in? The first time buying a Tesla? You're going to wait for the refreshed Model Y, assuming it happens, which I'd say is about a 99.9999999994269% chance. And do you think in the fullness of time, Tesla will eventually delete the Model S and X with the Y and 3 effectively taking their place once the next-gen vehicle's available and scaled up? Let me know in the comments below. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.